Hello everyone, so today is Valentine's Day and while everyone is going on cute dates and posting couple reels, I decided to go on a 12-hour study date with Quant for CUET because this year my Valentine is Quant, yes. And in today's video I'm attempting a 12-hour Quant study marathon, solving questions, revising formulas and trying to romanticize studying just a little bit. Let's see if I survive this date. So let's get started. I begin with LCM and HCF, two concepts that quietly decide your accuracy in quant. The lectures were conducted live 2 days earlier, and since I couldn't attend them then, I revisited them today, one lecture at a time, without rushing the process. After that, I moved straight into the DPPs. There were a lot of questions, but I worked through them patiently one by one because quant only improves when effort replaces assumptions. Once the practice was done, I watched the second lecture and wrap up LCM and HCF right around 2 p.m. with clarity, not just completion. Then I moved on to surds and indices, another core area of quant that tests clarity more than speed. I begin by going through the theory from my ebook, carefully noting down the formulas because in quant, understanding starts long before solving. I watched lectures and solved the question alongside the explanation step by step. Once the lectures were complete, I wasn't done yet. I pushed further and practiced additional questions from my CUET GT book, making sure the concept was settling in, not just passing by. By around 3 p.m., I wrapped up this section, not chasing hours but building confidence one concept at a time. After that, I moved on to ratio, proportion, and partnership, a section where logic matters more than memorization. I begin with the theory, making sure the basics were clear before moving ahead, because without clarity, practice only creates confusion. Once the theory was done, I shifted to the lectures. There were two in total. I solved the question alongside the explanation step by step, making the learning active rather than passive. After completing the lectures, I went through the DPPs. There were many questions, but I treated each one seriously because even a few problems can expose weak understanding. By around 5 p.m., I moved to additional practice from my GT book, working through ratio and proportion questions until everything felt structured and familiar. I wrapped this section up at 5:40. After that, I took a short break. The weather outside was calm and it gave me just enough space to reset my mind. I came back around 6 p.m. and shifted my focus to the percentage chapter, a topic that connects directly to speed and accuracy in quant. I started with the theory, going through every concept slowly and carefully, because in percentage, every small gaps in understanding can cost marks. Once the basics were clear, I moved on to the lectures. There were two in total, and I followed them with full concentration, making sure each method made sense before moving ahead. I started by watching the first lecture on percentage, paying close attention to the approach and logic behind each method. This chapter isn't about formulas alone, it's about understanding how numbers behave in real situations. After completing the first lecture, I moved straight to the second one. By then, the concepts started connecting and the patterns become clearer, which is exactly how quant begins to feel manageable. Once the lectures were done, I shifted to practice. I picked up my GT book and started solving questions one after another. There were many, but I focused on quality over speed, attempting 25 questions with full attention. I didn't rush to finish this chapter. The goal here wasn't completion, it was control. Understanding percentage today's means fewer mistakes across multiple chapters later. I didn't even realize how late it had gotten. By the time I closed my GT book, it was already around 9 p.m. and I had finished 25 questions slowly and properly. I looked at the timer after that, 3 hours were still left, and honestly, that's when it really hit me. The day wasn't over yet. By this time, I was honestly exhausted. I had been studying since noon, watching lectures, solving questions, and my focus was clearly slipping. Nothing was going in properly anymore. Questions started feeling heavier than they should, and that's usually my sign to stop pushing. So I kept my books aside and decided to reset. No guilt, no overthinking, just a clean 1 hour break. From 9 to 10, I stepped away completely because sometimes the most disciplined choice is knowing where to pause. After that, I went straight back to my desk. I made a clear plan for the final stretch, the last 2 hours of the day. There were 4 chapters left, and I knew it would be tight. At that point, I wasn't chasing perfection, I just wanted honest progress. I started with time and work. I watched the lecture with full attention and solved the question as they appeared, trying to stay present even though the day had been long. Finishing that first lecture didn't feel dramatic, but it gave me the quiet confidence to move ahead with the rest. After finishing time and work, I moved straight to the next chapter, Pipes and Tanks. I didn't pause or overthink it. I opened the lecture and stayed with it till the end. By around 11:15 p.m., that chapter was done. At that hour, every concept felt heavier, but stopping wasn't an option. I then shifted to speed, time, and distance. I watched the lectures first and solved a good number of questions alongside them, because this chapter only settles when you apply it immediately. By 11:45 p.m., I wrapped the third chapter. I was tired, yes, but that kind of tired that comes after showing up, not giving up. After completing all this, I moved on to the final chapter, Boats and Stream. It was the last stretch of the day and there was only one lecture left. I played it on 2x speed, solving questions alongside it, trying to stay focused even though my energy was running low. By around 12 am, I finally wrapped it up. It wasn't perfect and it wasn't easy, but I reached the end, and sometimes that's enough. And that's it for my Valentine. 12 hours of showing up, staying consistent, and choosing my preparation. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay focused, stay motivated, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.